What's going on? Welcome back to yet another normal baseball will be team projection. Today we got the Washington Nationals. Let's get into it. What's going on? Welcome back to Normal Baseball. I'm Alex Normal Dog. That's Lewis. And today we're back with another Will Be. And today we got the 2022 Washington Nationals Will Be. Obviously I've got my 2019 Washington Nationals shirt on. I had to dress for the occasion.
Beautiful shirt. Beautiful.
And yeah, Lewis has got some spring training content coming for you tomorrow. Exciting times, but for now,
keep up with the Instagram. We'll have everything there, and there might even be a YouTube video out of it.
Yeah, but for now, let's just talk about the Washington Nationals. I mean, not a great team last year. Very underwhelming considering they have Juan Soto and they won a championship a couple of years ago. Only 65 wins, 97 losses, so not great. I'll go over their additions first because that's what I've been doing. Just telling you what the team added. They got Cesar Hernandez for 1 year, $4 million. D. Strange Gordon on a minor league contract.
Help you out.
Gregardo Parra, Baby Shark Man, on a minor league contract as well. Ehire Adrianza on a 1 year, $1.5 million contract. Steve Cishek on a 1 year, $1.75 million contract. Sean Doolittle on a 1 year, $1.5 million contract. And Nelson Cruz on a 1 year, $15 million contract with an option for next year. Those are all the additions to this team. I mean, still not a great team, especially in that NL East division. But let's
just made a world champion in the Braves.
Let's go in order here. I mean, Cesar Hernandez, kind of random, second baseman. He was on the White Sox and Indians last year. Played 149 games. Played pretty much an entire season, which is pretty good.
He was a good body out there. He wasn't spectacular or anything, but yeah. I don't want to say that he was bad. He was in the majors after all.
Yeah, he was a good guy to have out there. His bat wasn't anything extraordinary. I mean, he hit .232. He had just under a 700 OPS. But his defense was good from what I've heard. He's just a good guy to have out there, you know? So, yeah. I guess for a team that knows they're not really going to win, he's just kind of a piece. This is one of those episodes where it's like, this team doesn't have high expectations. They got Juan Soto, and now they got some names, but then the rest of the not superstars are just kind of meh.
Yeah, I mean, don't forget, they're going to be getting a fully healthy Patrick Corbin back, a fully healthy Steven Strasburg back. They brought in Nelson Cruz, as you mentioned, which was a big signing for them. I mean, the guy's easily going to hit, 30 homers?
Yeah, I mean, 30 homers. He had 32 last year. I set an over-under at Nelson Cruz 29.5. So funny you should say that.
Yeah, give me the over.
I take it. You'll take the over. I'm gonna also take the over because Nelson Cruz does not age. It's just not something he does.
Father Time hasn't caught up to him yet. Somehow he doesn't round the bases too quickly.
No, he'll be playing until he literally can't anymore. He did have 2 triples last year, or he had 1 triple rather. So don't count that out.
Still got a lot of gas in the tank.
Yeah, that signing of Nelson Cruz was kind of random to me because you feel like he would want to be on a contending team.
I would agree, but I think he got more money than if he were to go to a contender. I mean, $13 million for 1 year, and I think he has an option for the second year.
Yeah.
And him and Juan Soto, I think Soto can learn a lot from the boomstick. Obviously not his plate approach because Soto's the best to do it right now at the plate, pitch by pitch. But if Soto can learn to elevate the ball like Cruz, then there's no stopping him.
Yeah, I agree. He'll be a good mentor. Obviously for a guy like Juan Soto, who seems like he doesn't really need a mentor because of how good he is already. Nelson Cruz can only help one of the best hitters in the game right now. But I find it weird. Like, I feel like someone else must have offered him $15 million. I think the Rays. I think even the Rays or the Twins or someone like that must have offered him money. I don't know what made him choose Washington exactly. Maybe he didn't have that many offers, but maybe it's just because of his age.
Yeah, maybe. If I had to assume, the Rays probably sent him a 1 year, $10 million, and like that was it. The Nationals giving him a 1+1 with more than $10 million. I mean, there's no reason for him not to take it. And if I had to guess,
but it's a mutual option. So even if he's bad, they can say no. I mean,
yeah, but they're not gonna. It's not like they need that money at the moment. I mean,
so
it's going to be an extra $13 million, and if he hits 30 homers, like we're both saying that he will, no reason why they shouldn't keep him around for another year. They're not going anywhere.
No, but like, say the Rays did offer him $10 million, and the Rays obviously are a winning team right now. They are up there in the AL East. They're projected to do good. Never sleep on the Rays. That's a $5 million difference. I get the security for next year, but even then, like, how much? Take a guess on how much money Nelson Cruz has made in his career. 17 seasons.
With Seattle. What other teams did he play for? Seattle. Did he play for the Rangers?
Shouldn't even matter.
I'm gonna go with 219.
219. Let me find this.
No, he doesn't even have it up. The over/under.
Well, no, because I have it. It's just not added up for some.
Oh, that's annoying.
Hold on, I got it.
Because I feel like it's either really reasonable or it's really, really off.
Well, it's not showing me for some reason.
All right.
But what'd you say? How much did you say? Oh wait, right here. 219? No, it's very much under that.
Very much under. What, 154?
Little bit under. 30 under. So 124
120? Huh.
So he
would. Still a lot of money.
And that's without the next 2 years.
Yeah.
But like, what's at that point, $5 million? Is he really going to go to a losing team just for $5 million? But, and especially,
you say that like $5 million is not a lot of money.
No, but for these guys, that's maybe he also wanted to go to the best pitching team division in baseball, or one of the best. He wanted to be in a competitive division, but I don't know. I like him on the team. He looks good He looks good in the uniform. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the Nelson Cruz absolute moonshot off a Jacob deGrom fastball. I think that'll be the highlight of the national season. Obviously, besides Juan Soto winning MVP, but we won't get into that now.
Yeah. Wait. Juan Soto, though, now that you mention him, obviously the face of this team. They avoided arbitration with him. I think it was like $17 million, you said?
17.1. A very big number for Soto, which, I mean, I think I said it to you yesterday. I think he's going to be the first guy to get a natural $500 million contract. I mean, the guy is it. He's it.
I certainly wouldn't be surprised at all. But, I mean, odds he wins MVP this year? NL MVP? Do you have the odds on a team like the Nationals? I don't have the odds on.
The only reason why I don't say it's crazy is because if you look at last year, all 6 of the finalists for both MVPs weren't on playoff teams. No reason as to why, if Soto does what he did again last year and what he's capable of, which I think, his last year wasn't even his best year, close to what he can do. I think there's no reason as to why he shouldn't go out and win that MVP.
Okay. Yeah, he has the best odds in the National League, according to this one website that I'm looking at. So he's plus 275. And then
second and third.
And then the next highest is Ronald Acuna, who's plus 700. So, like, think of that gap. Yeah, that's a big
huge gap. Because Soto, he's in a league of his own almost.
And then it's Bryce Harper at plus 900, tied with Mookie Betts, who's also at plus 900. But I mean, he's more than capable of winning an MVP. He was well in the running for it this year. I mean,
Could have won last
151
year.
games. He batted 313 in 151 games with a
Yeah. What was his
999 OPS.
Yep.
1.0001 behind. 001 behind.
I mean,
29
good God,
homers,
the
20
kid is
doubles,
phenomenal.
95 RB. He had 95 RBIs on a very bad Nationals team, and
Yeah.
and 145 walks, led baseball. I mean, the guy's nuts.
Course. So let me ask you this question. I mean, if we're talking about young players, nobody younger than who the Nationals got back for Scherzer and Trey Turner last season I think it was Keibert Ruiz and Josiah Gray.
Yeah.
So what do you think they're going to do? I think that Keibert Ruiz
Well,
is up actually.
you cut out a little bit. What were you saying?
Keibert Ruiz, is he not the?
No, but you cut out. We didn't.
I think he's going to be up this year, or if he's
He was up
already been
last year. He's up last year. He played.
Yeah.
He only played 29 games last year, but that was also once he got traded to the Nats, he was actually starting to play because obviously on the Dodgers they got Will Smith. They're not going to use him.
Of course not. And I mean, Josiah Gray, I think he's going to turn out very nicely in that Nationals pitching organization.
We'll see. It depends on how they can develop him because coming over from the Dodgers, he did not look good. I mean, last season he had a 5.5 ERA. I mean, a 6 FIP. And this is in 14 starts, 14 games, so take it with like a grain of salt, but still 14 games is a decent sample size. And a negative .5 WAR. So
yeah, I think
if they can develop him in their system well, then maybe he can go live up to that potential.
No, I agree, and I think the thing with the Dodgers is that this trade, the trade that went down last season, of course, with Matt Scherzer and Trey Turner at the deadline, everyone kind of noticed, like, hey, the Dodgers say that it's their number 1 and number 2 prospect, but that means that they still need work.
Right.
Like,
It's
Dodgers, they did the homegrown talent thing, and they've bought their talent, but you have to realize now that they're not, the powerhouse at every level. It's just at the major league level they are.
right.
So this definitely was an example. Sadly, the Nationals were the loser in the situation of having to show the rest of the league that. But I'm happy that it is the Nationals because they know how to develop pitching.
True, and that's even shown with guys like Patrick Corbin and Steven Strasburg who came through their the system and have done good. I mean, however, Patrick Corbin had a really rough year. I mean, a negative 1.1 WAR. I mean, he pitched 31 games, which is a full season. Had a almost 6 ERA. A 5.5 FIP, 5.41, and then a 1.468 WHIP. It's just not good. He needs to have a bounce back year. I know he was dealing with underlying injuries and stuff, but wow, that's bad.
He definitely was, and the lockout obviously didn't help, but all signs lead to him being fully back and healthy. Strasburg is going to be fully back and healthy.
Hopefully.
And even if they can't perform as well as they once did in that 2019 run, even just talking to Josiah Gray and running a bullpen session with him every once in a while and talking to the coaches and figuring things out, because they're great pitchers, and we know that. They proved it. They went out, they won a World Series. They did what every ball player wants to do. And they showed that they can get it done. And sure, it might have burnt them out for the rest of their careers, but they'll tell you it's worth it. But that doesn't mean that they don't have any value. And I
don't think they're burnt out for the rest of their careers.
No, I didn't mean that quite literally. It's just I listen to a lot of people. I know, but I listen to a lot of Nationals fans who do say that World Series run did burn them out for the rest of their careers, but take that with a grain of salt, obviously. And I think that they still have a lot up here that they could transfer onto the next generation of young talent coming up within their system.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the next generation. I mean, Eric Fedde, I don't know really how to say it. Fedde, I think. He's another young pitcher, came up recently. He pitched 29 games last year, also had like a 6 ERA. I mean, 3 of the guys who are projected to be on the Nationals rotation had a negative ERA last year. I mean, negative WAR last year, which not a great sign. That does the opposite of win baseball games.
Yeah,
Um,
not a good sign at all.
so their pitching needs work. I mean, same with their bullpen. Their bullpen isn't anything special. They got Sean Doolittle, Steve Cishek.
Yeah.
Sean Doolittle is back. Obviously 2019 World Series champion. But their bullpen last year was terrible. 29th in the league in ERA. So that means they were the second worst. 27th in WHIP, 23rd in walks per nine, 28th in hits per nine, 28th in home runs per nine. It's not good. Same thing with their
Yeah.
starting. Their starting wasn't much better either.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't think that we have super high hopes for the Nationals, but I'm hoping that they can just make a good season out of it for Soto, for Cruz, for Patrick Corbin, for Steven Strasburg, Josiah Gray, Keibert Ruiz. Like, they have pieces that deserve a good season where they can show that they're legitimate ball players.
Now you say you think highly of Keibert Ruiz. Do you think Keibert Ruiz will have an over or under 3.49 WAR next season? B WAR, B WAR.
B War.
It's the same. I mean, it's here nor there.
Yeah, I'd still go under.
I'm also going under. I mean, I can't. No numbers from even the 29 games last year. Sure, they might not have been bad, but also it's 29 games, and nothing says that he's just gonna break out and be incredible this year.
Would love for him to prove me wrong.
Oh, I would love it too. I would love it too. I want some excitement in that division.
Yeah. Well, what about let's get to what everybody wants to know. What's their over under for wins?
Their over under for wins is. This is the one.
It is.
This is the one thing I didn't write down. 71 and a half.
I'm hammering the under.
I am gonna go over. I think they're gonna go around 72.
Okay.
I don't. Yeah. I think over.
I projected them personally winning 55 games.
That seems a little low for me. I mean, I know their pitching
No,
isn't great, but if they were somehow able to win 65 last year, I can't see them only winning 55 this year.
No, I completely agree with you. I'd love for them to prove me wrong, but I just feel like in the NL East especially, I mean, all NL East teams have to play all AL East teams, and they have to go through the Dodgers and stuff. I think it's just going to be difficult for them.
They also didn't really lose much, which is another thing. I mean, they only lost, the only really piece they lost was Ryan Zimmerman, who obviously retired, and they're retiring his jersey, which is great. I don't think there was a date for that yet, but we know they are retiring his jersey at some point. But that he was the only guy they really lost. So this team, they just kind of added, which could never be bad. And I think that will equate to maybe a little more wins than last year.
Fair enough. I mean, I would love to see you be right. How's that?
Yeah, I'll at least put up some kind of fight when you're playing the teams in their division, because that's going to be a tough division.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously, no matter where they go, or even if they're in Nats Park, Juan Soto is a show to see on his own. So for anybody out there who has a chance to go see a Nationals game this year, take it. Soto is one of a kind. He really is at the plate, and it doesn't look that way when you're watching him in the box, like on TV or anything. But then you realize, the other 8 batters, they're not going to get up there and have the patience, the confidence, the charisma, and just like overall attitude that Soto has about baseball.
Yeah. Now, this team, obviously, like I said, their pitching wasn't bad, but now that you mention it, with guys like Juan Soto on that roster, their hitting last year was very good, comparatively. I wouldn't say very good, actually, but it was good in terms of average on-base percentage and OPS. They were 4th in batting average last year. They were 2nd in on-base percentage. Granted, Juan Soto did have a 465 on-base percentage, which did drive it up a lot. But still, 2nd in on-base percentage for a team that won 65 games is pretty good.
Well, that's also with Trey Turner for half a season, Kyle Schwarber for a little while.
Yeah, but either way, I mean, then the OPS, they were 9th, which isn't bad either. Granted, they also did have Juan Soto, but some of the guys on this roster did not have bad OPSs. So, I mean, if they can actually start hitting, I mean, let's not forget Josh Bell, who's also another power hitter in that lineup, who will be batting right below Nelson Cruz.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to their 2-3-4.
That 2-3-4 is going to be up there with some of the best in baseball. I mean, Juan Soto, Nelson Cruz, Josh Bell. Josh Bell had a nice bounce back season from 2019. He hit 261, 144 games, 283 on OPS, 27 homers, 88 RBIs. I mean, he had a good season,
Yeah,
especially
he
for
did
being on the
well.
Nats. So if he can come back and have another one of those types of seasons, it'll be nice for the Nats.
Count me in. I'm in. I'm sold.
Yeah, and this is like a decent. I wouldn't say it's the worst lineup in baseball. Um,
No,
it's
far from
still
it.
it's still a decent lineup, but the pitching is the big issue. Like you
Yeah.
said, the young guys are gonna have to kind of step up, and if they can, then the Nats might be a little pesky team next year. And then speaking of pitching, Patrick Corbin. Do you think he'll have over or under a 4.01 ERA?
Under.
Under. I'm going over.
Fair enough.
I mean, just nothing from last year shows anything that he'll be on under.
I'm gonna go with. Oh my god. Whew. Sorry about that. My travel day. Catching up to me.
And then another thing about the Nats is their prospects capita isn't as good as it once was. I mean, Keibert Ruiz was their top prospect. He was ranked 22nd in 2021, but besides him, there isn't really anything so special, you know.
Yeah, which is sad, but they can,
They have a guy
I
named
think, give it time.
Cade Cavalli, who's a starting pitcher and also a first baseman and a third baseman. And he didn't have
Shohei
terrible.
Ohtani?
He only played. He didn't play that many games at third and first, but he did both, and he wasn't terrible. From the numbers that I looked at, he was the 60th ranked prospect in 2021. So that's
Tell me
something to
in.
look at if you're a Nats fan.
Yeah, but all my chips are in on that guy. If you can play the corners and then come up to the mound for a couple innings, I'm sold.
Yeah,
Count me in.
exactly. There's not much else you need.
Yeah.
Okay, and then just to round this out, because I think we're just about done. I mean, we've talked about everyone. Obviously, Juan Soto, potential NL MVP, very likely. Do you think he'll one up himself from this year? Do you think he'll have over or under a 315 batting average?
Over. I think he'll even have an over 1100 OPS.
That's a little much, but
We'll watch him do it. If there's one player in the game that could do it, it's Juan Soto.
yeah, but 1100 is tough.
Mark my words.
All right, and then I think we're gonna have a general consensus here. Team MVP.
Juan Soto.
Yeah, I think that's just a general consensus between everyone.
Hard to argue anybody else. I mean, people who like to gamble will say the sports book that they just installed in the stadium, but I'm gonna go with Juan Soto.
Yeah, and I think that should do it. I mean, that's the Washington Nationals pretty much. That's their lineup. Is there anyone we didn't mention? Victor Robles. He's been there forever. Had a terrible season last year.
Baby Shark Man is back.
Baby Shark Man's back. Maybe he'll get called up at some point. D. Gordon would be cool to see in the majors at some point. We haven't seen him in a while. And then that bullpen, some guys you know and love. Look out for Ryan Zimmerman Day whenever that does come. And
Let's go Nationals.
Let's go Nationals. I think that's it. Anything else? I think that's it.
That's all good. Let's go Nats.
All right. And that'll do it for this will be for the 2022 MLB season. The Washington Nationals will be in what place?
Fifth.
All right, you heard it here first. The Washington Nationals will be 5th place in the NL East in 2022. All right, we'll see you in the next one. Peace.